I'm Alex Thompson, a 22-year-old college kid slinging burgers in my brain at the local community college in Nowhereville, Ohio. Population too many Karens. It's 2025, and life's mostly chill. Until it isn't. Picture this: I'm at Dusty's Diner, the kind of place where the coffee's strong, the pie's stronger, and the gossip's practically a menu item. I'm there with my sister Emily, who's 26, deaf, and the coolest person I know. She's signing to me about her new job at the library, her hands dancing like she's conducting an orchestra when boom. Enter Karen, stage right, strutting like she's the mayor of Manners Town. Karen's the kind of woman who'd argue with a stop sign and win. Middle-aged, hair teased to the heavens, she's got a purse that probably weighs more than me and a scowl that could curdle the diner's famous gravy. She's been terrorizing this town since I was in diapers, always whining about someone's dog, someone's kid, or someone's breathing. Today it's our turn to star in her one-woman drama. Emily and I are mid-bite, me with a burger, her with a grilled cheese, when Karen storms over, her heels clacking like a firing squad. She's been hovering near the counter, muttering about rude millennials. And now she's locked onto us like a heat-seeking missile. "Excuse me, young lady," she barks at Emily, who's blissfully unaware, still signing about how she shelved Moby Dick next to Twilight as a prank. Emily doesn't respond because, she's deaf. Karen, not one for logic, takes this as a personal attack. "Hey, I'm talking to you," Karen snaps, her voice hitting a pitch that makes the diner's jukebox skip. Emily keeps signing, oblivious, and I'm about to jump in when Karen leans in, her perfume a weapon of mass destruction, and says, "Ignoring me is rude. Didn't your mother teach you manners?" I try to explain, calmly, like I'm defusing a bomb, that Emily's deaf, but Karen's not here for facts. She's here for her Oscar-worthy tantrum. Then it happens. Faster than you can say entitled people. Karen rears back and slaps Emily across the face. The diner goes silent, forks frozen mid-air, coffee cups paused like we're in a bad sitcom. Emily's hand flies to her cheek, her eyes wide with shock, and I'm on my feet, burger forgotten, ready to yeet Karen into next week. "What the hell is wrong with you?" I yell, my voice cracking like I'm 15 again. Karen, unfazed, adjusts her purse and says, "Maybe that'll teach her to listen." Teach her to listen. This woman just slapped my deaf sister and thinks it's a TED talk on etiquette. The audacity. The sheer, unfiltered Karen-osity. Diners are staring, some whipping out phones like they're paparazzi at a scandal. Old Joe, the guy who's been nursing the same coffee since the Nixon administration, mutters, "Well, damn, Karen's done it now." Even the cook, Big Mike, pokes his head out, spatula in hand, looking ready to flip Karen instead of pancakes. I'm seeing red, but Emily grabs my arm, signing, "Don't. She's not worth it." She's shaken, her cheek pink, but she's tougher than Karen's overcooked morals. I want to hurl every insult I know, but Karen's already monologuing. "Kids these days," she says, tossing her hair like she's in a shampoo commercial. "No respect. You should thank me for teaching her a lesson." Thank her. I'd sooner thank a wasp for stinging me. Here's where it gets good. Karen doesn't know my mom, Lisa Thompson, is a retired military lawyer who eats red tape for breakfast and spits out justice. Mom's the kind of woman who once made a general apologize for cutting her off in a briefing. She's a legal hurricane. And Karen just poked the eye of the storm. I whip out my phone, hands shaking, and call Mom. "Mom, some lady just slapped Emily at the diner." I blurt. There's a pause, then Mom's voice, calm but colder than an Ohio winter, "Stay put. Document everything. I'm on my way." While Karen's still preaching to a nearby table about proper behavior, I start playing detective. I ask Big Mike if the diner's got cameras. Yep, 2, and they caught the whole slap fest in glorious HD. A couple of regulars, including a grandma who looks ready to knit Karen into oblivion, offer to give statements. Someone's already posted a shaky video on X captioned, "Karen vest deaf girl." Bad idea. It's got 200 likes in 10 minutes. The internet's about to roast Karen like a diner meatloaf. Karen, oblivious to her impending doom, finally flounces out, leaving a trail of perfume and entitlement. Emily's trying to stay strong, signing, "I'm okay, just mad." I'm mad too, but I'm also buzzing with that sweet anticipation of payback. Karen thinks she's untouchable because her son's a cop, and she's got the town's gossip mill on speed dial. She's about to learn that messing with the Thompsons is like playing chess with a grandmaster when all you know is checkers. So, here's my call to action, folks. Have you ever seen someone get smacked down by their own arrogance? Maybe a Karen tried to teach you or someone you love a lesson. Drop your stories in the comments. I'm reading every one. And tell me, are you watching this unfold on your phone in a coffee shop, your TV at midnight, or your laptop while pretending to work? Hit me with your time zone and vibe. It's 3 p.m. here in Ohio, and I'm ready to watch Karen's world implode. This isn't just about Emily or me. It's about every time someone like Karen thinks they can bully their way through life, especially when they target someone with a disability. Slapping a deaf person isn't just a bad look, it's assault, and the Americans with Disabilities Act has Emily's back. Karen's about to get a crash course in accountability, courtesy of Mom's legal playbook. Buckle up, because this small town showdown is just getting started, and I've got a front row seat to the justice circus. When arrogance meets disability, who really pays the price? Spoiler, it's not my sister, Emily, who's currently sipping hot cocoa at home, safe from the Karen-pocalypse. It's Karen herself, blissfully unaware she's just auditioned for the starring role in her own legal nightmare. I'm Alex Thompson, your 22-year-old narrator, still reeling from the diner debacle where Karen, our town's self-appointed etiquette czar, slapped my deaf sister for ignoring her. Buckle up, because the fallout's about to hit like a meteor in this sleepy Ohio town. After Karen's grand exit from Dusty's Diner, leaving behind a cloud of perfume and bad vibes, I got Emily out of there faster than you can say. Lawsuit pending. The drive home was quiet. Emily signed a few words, mostly "I'm fine" and "she's crazy," but her hands shook a little. Seeing my sister, who once stared down a college professor who refused to provide sign language accommodations, rattled like that, it lit a fire in me. Karen wasn't just a nuisance, she was a bully who thought she could swing her purse and her privilege like a wrecking ball. Not today, Karen. Not ever. We pulled into our driveway, and I was still mentally drafting a list of ways to make Karen regret her life choices when Mom's car screeched in. Lisa Thompson, retired military lawyer and the human equivalent of a precision-guided missile, stepped out, her face a mix of fury and focus. Picture a woman who could make a drill sergeant cry while filing a flawless legal brief. That's Mom. She hugged Emily, checked her cheek, no bruise, thank God, and then turned to me. "Tell me everything," she said, her voice low, like she was interrogating a hostile witness. So I did. Karen's rant, the slap, the diner's collective gasp, and the glorious fact that Big Mike's cameras caught it all. Mom's eyes narrowed as she processed the story. "This isn't just wrong," she said, pacing our living room like a general planning D-Day. "It's illegal. Assault, harassment, and a clear violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act." I nodded, trying to keep up while Emily signed, "Can we make her apologize?" Mom smirked, a rare sight that meant someone was about to regret crossing her. "Oh honey, we're going for more than an apology. Karen's about to learn the law isn't her personal fan club. Now, let's pause for a second to appreciate the irony. Karen, who probably thinks ADI stands for always demanding attention, has no idea she's just poked a legal bear. Mom's been out of the military game for a few years, but her lawyer brain is sharper than Karen's tongue. She started barking orders. "Alex, get those witness names. Emily, write down how you felt, every detail." I joked, "What's next, Mom? Subpoena Karen's purse for emotional damages." She didn't laugh. "Bad sign for Karen." While Emily jotted down her statement, I filled Mom in on Karen's rap sheet. This wasn't her first rodeo. Karen's the kind of woman who'd complain about a neighbor's lawn gnome being too cheerful. Last year, she tried to get the library to ban To Kill a Mockingbird because it was inappropriate. The librarian, Mrs. Jenkins, told her to read it first, and Karen stormed out, claiming books were overrated. Then there was the time she reported old Joe's dog for barking at her aggressively. Spoiler: the dog's a 12-year-old beagle with 3 teeth. Karen's not just a pest, she's a one-woman crusade against joy. Mom listened, her pen tapping the table like a war drum. This pattern helps, she said. She's not just a loose cannon, she's a liability. I grinned, imagining Karen's face when she gets served papers. Think she'll cry? I asked. Mom raised an eyebrow. If she's smart, she'll start practicing her apology now. But Smart and Karen don't seem to share a zip code. We took a break to scarf down some leftover pizza. Justice planning is hungry work. Emily, feeling steadier, signed a joke about Karen's hair looking like a bird's nest on a bad day. I laughed so hard I nearly choked, then added, "Yeah, and her purse probably has its own zip code." Mom, usually all business, cracked a smile and said, "You two are trouble. Good thing I'm on your side." That's when I knew Karen's days of ruling this town like a discount dictator were numbered. But here's the thing. Mom didn't just want to win, she wanted to win right. "We need to understand the full scope," she said, pulling out her laptop. "Karen's not acting alone. People like her thrive because others let them." She was right. Karen's got a fan club of enablers, nosy neighbors, that one guy at the hardware store who nods along to her rants, and oh yeah, her son, the cop. I mentioned him to Mom, and her eyes lit up like a kid on Christmas. "Interesting," she said. "That might explain why she thinks she's untouchable." I couldn't resist a jab. "What's her son gonna do? Arrest us for being too awesome?" Mom shot me a look. "Focus, Alex. We're building a case, not a comedy routine." Fair, but I was already picturing Karen's son trying to defend her in court, only to realize his mom's the human equivalent of a dumpster fire. Mom started typing, pulling up legal codes faster than I can Google. How to annoy a Karen. She explained that the ADA protects Emily from harassment and discrimination, and assault. That's a whole other ballgame. "Karen's not just in trouble," Mom said. "She's in our court now." As the night wore on, I kept thinking about Emily. She's tough, but nobody deserves to be slapped for existing. Karen's arrogance wasn't just a personal slight. It was an attack on my family, on fairness, on basic human decency. I looked at Mom, still typing, and Emily, now sketching in her notebook, and felt a surge of pride. We're the Thompsons and we don't back down. Karen's about to learn that her little slap didn't just sting. It woke a sleeping giant. So, what's the dumbest thing a Karen's ever done to you, or someone you know? Drop it in the comments. I need some laughs to balance out this rage. And tell me, are you reading this on your phone at 2 a.m., your TV during dinner, or your laptop while dodging work? It's 8 p.m. here in Ohio, and I'm ready to watch Karen's empire of entitlement crumble. Stay tuned, because this revenge train's just leaving the station. Time to dig up Karen's past. Every villain leaves a trail, and Karen's is less a trail and more a neon-lit highway of petty grievances and public meltdowns. I'm Alex Thompson, your 22-year-old guide to this Ohio small-town saga, where Karen, our resident manners enforcer, slapped my deaf sister, Emily, at Dusty's Diner, thinking it was her divine right to teach her. Spoiler, she's about to get schooled herself, courtesy of my mom, Lisa Thompson, a retired military lawyer who's sharpening her legal claws. After the diner disaster and Mom's vow to sue Karen into next week, we're now in full detective mode. And let me tell you, this is more fun than binge watching a true crime docuseries. It's the day after Karen's slap heard round the diner, and our living rooms turned into a war room. Mom's got her laptop open, legal pads scattered like landmines, and a coffee mug that says, "I survived court. You won't." Emily's sketching Karen as a cartoon villain. Think Cruella de Vil with worse hair. While I'm pacing, hyped on adrenaline and the promise of justice. Mom's plan is simple: build an airtight case. "We need evidence," she says, her voice all business. "Witness statements, videos, and anything on Karen's history of being a public menace." I grin. So, like, her entire personality. Mom doesn't laugh. Karen's in for a rough ride. First stop, the diner. I head back to Dusty's, where Big Mike, the cook, greets me with a fist bump and a plate of fries. Or the house for the Thompson takedown. The cameras caught everything, and Mike's already burned the footage onto a USB drive labeled Karen's Karma. I watch the clip, and it's glorious. Karen slap in slow-mo, her purse swinging like a medieval flail, and her smug, "teach her manners," line clear as day. It's practically a confession. I thank Mike, who winks and says, "Tell your mom to roast her good." Oh, we will. Next, I round up witnesses. The diner's buzzing with regulars eager to spill the tea. There's Grandma Ruth, who knits scarves and shade in equal measure, promising to testify that Karen's been a bully since the Reagan era. Then there's old Joe, the coffee-sipping legend, who's so excited he nearly spills his mug. Been waiting years for someone to take that woman down. He cackles, adjusting his trucker hat. "I'll bring popcorn to court." I jot down his number, picturing him heckling Karen from the gallery like it's a wrestling match. But the real gold, the ex-post from last night, that shaky diner video's gone viral, with 10K likes and comments like, "Karen needs a timeout in jail," and "Ooh, slaps a deaf person." I show Mom, who raises an eyebrow. "Public opinion's on our side," she says. "Let's keep it that way." She's already drafting a press release, because Mom doesn't just play the game, she rewrites the rule book. I add a comment to the post. "Thanks for the support. Stay tuned for justice." Engagement bait, maybe. Satisfying, definitely. Now, time to dig into Karen's rap sheet. This town's small, so gossip travels faster than Wi-Fi. I hit up Mrs. Jenkins at the library, who's still salty about Karen's To Kill a Mockingbird tantrum. She called Harper Lee divisive. Mrs. Jenkins scoffs, adjusting her glasses. Then she tried to ban the Cat in the Hat for promoting chaos. Chaos! She hands me a file of complaints Karen's filed. Everything from noisy birds to offensive mailbox colors. It's a masterclass in pettiness. I thank Mrs. Jenkins, who whispers, "Give her hell, Alex." Then there's the hardware store, where Dave, the owner, recounts Karen's attempt to return a hammer because it felt judgy. He's got security footage of her yelling about it, which he happily shares. "She's banned for life," he says, chuckling. "Tell Lisa I'm rooting for you." I'm starting to think Karen's got more enemies than a reality TV villain. Every story's another nail in her coffin, and I'm swinging the hammer with glee. The juiciest tidbit comes from a neighbor, Mrs. Lopez, who drops a bombshell. Karen's son, Officer Chad, might be why she acts untouchable. He's always cleaning up her messes, Mrs. Lopez says, watering her roses. Last year, she keyed a car over a parking spot, and Chad made it disappear. I whistle. That's not just gossip, that's leverage. I relay this to Mom, who jots it down with a glint in her eye. If Chad's involved, he'll think twice about backing her now, she says. No cop wants to be tied to a losing case. Back home, Mom's compiling our haul like a legal Avengers assembling. We've got diner footage, witness statements, a file of Karen's complaints thicker than a phone book, and whispers about Chad's cover-ups. Emily signs, think it's enough. Mom nods. It's a start, but we're not just winning. We're making sure Karen never pulls this again. I laugh, imagining Karen trying to slap someone else and getting handed a restraining order instead. Maybe she'll move to a deserted island, I say. Emily signs with her purse. It'd sink the boat. We crack up and even Mom chuckles. Victory's already tasting sweet. So here's my call to action. Got a Karen in your life who thinks they're above the law? Share your story in the comments. I'm dying to hear how you dealt with them. And tell me, are you reading this on your phone during a lunch break, your TV after dinner, or your laptop while dodging emails? It's 2 p.m. in Ohio, and I'm riding the high of Karen's impending doom. This isn't just about Emily. It's about every time someone like Karen thinks they can bully their way through life. With Mom leading the charge and a town full of fed-up folks behind us, we're not just gathering evidence, we're building a monument to Karen's downfall. Stay tuned, because the legal battle's about to get spicier than Dusty's chili. In court, the truth is the ultimate weapon, and we're locked and loaded with enough evidence to make Karen wish she'd stayed home that day at Dusty's diner. I'm Alex Thompson, your 22-year-old narrator in this Ohio small-town showdown, where Karen, the purse-swinging queen of entitlement, slapped my deaf sister Emily for ignoring her. Thanks to Mom, Lisa Thompson, a retired military lawyer with a knack for turning bullies into legal piatas, we've built a case tighter than Karen's perm. After gathering diner footage, witness statements, and a file of Karen's petty complaints thicker than a diner meatloaf, we're now stepping into the courtroom, where Karen's about to face a reckoning spicier than Big Mike's chili. It's a crisp morning in 2025, and the county courthouse smells like old wood and older grudges. Mom's in her element, striding in with a briefcase that probably has its own security clearance. Emily's nervous but resolute, signing, "Let's do this." I'm hyped, imagining Karen squirming like a kid caught stealing cookies. The local media's already sniffing around. Headlines on X scream, "Local woman assaults deaf young adult, faces lawsuit." One post with 15K likes calls Karen the human equivalent of a parking ticket. The internet's roasting her, and we haven't even started. Mom filed the lawsuit last week, charging Karen with assault, harassment, and violating the Americans with Disabilities Act, (DA) and Ohio disability laws. It's not just about the slap, it's about Karen thinking she can bully anyone, especially someone with a disability, and skate free. The courtroom's packed with familiar faces. Grandma Ruth, knitting in the back row like she's crafting Karen's doom, Old Joe grinning like he's at a comedy show, and Big Mike, who took a day off to watch the fireworks. Even Mrs. Jenkins from the library sneaked in, probably hoping Karen's banned from civilization next. The judge, a no-nonsense woman with glasses sharper than her wit, calls the room to order. Karen's there, looking like she's auditioning for Most Miserable Housewife. Her lawyer, a sweaty guy who probably regrets taking this case, keeps adjusting his tie like it's strangling him. Karen's defense: she claims she didn't know Emily was deaf and the slap was a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding? That's like calling a tornado a breeze. Mom's ready to shred this nonsense, and I'm practically vibrating with glee. The pretrial hearing kicks off, and Karen's lawyer tries to argue Emily's disability wasn't obvious. He says my client had no way of knowing the young lady couldn't hear. Mom stands, cool as a winter morning, and fires back. Was Karen expecting my daughter to wear a neon sign that says I'm deaf? Or perhaps a t-shirt with "Please don't slap me" in bold? The gallery snickers and Old Joe coughs to hide a laugh. The judge raises an eyebrow, clearly not buying Karen's sob story. I lean over to Emily, signing, "Mom's killing it." She nods, a small smile breaking through. Mom presents the diner footage, and it's a masterpiece. The screen shows Karen's slap in high def, her face twisted in righteous fury, followed by her "teach her manners" line. The room gasps like it's a soap opera. Karen's lawyer objects, claiming the video's inflammatory, but the judge shuts him down faster than a diner closing for health violations. "This is evidence, counselor," she says. "Your client's the one who inflamed the situation." Big Mike fist pumps from the back, and I'm tempted to high-five him. Next, Mom calls witnesses. Grandma Ruth takes the stand, her knitting needles tucked away, and describes Karen's history of bullying. She once yelled at my grandson for riding his bike too loudly, Ruth says, her voice dripping with disdain. The woman's a menace. Old Joe's up next, spinning a tale about Karen's dog, barking complaint that's half testimony, half stand-up routine. Her son's a cop, Joe adds, so she thinks she's the queen of Ohio. The judge's pen pauses and I catch Mom's smirk. That cop's son details a landmine and Karen's standing right on it. Karen's lawyer tries damage control, painting her as a concerned citizen who misjudged the situation. Karen nods along, dabbing her eyes with a tissue like she's in a melodrama. But then Mom plays the X video, the one with 15K likes, showing Karen's exit from the diner, muttering about rude kids. The crowd's murmurs grow louder and Karen's tissue dabbing speeds up. Her lawyer objects again, but the judge sighs. Counselor, is there anything you don't object to? The gallery erupts in laughter, and I swear Grandma Ruth's knitting needles clink in approval. Mom's closing the hearing with a preview of our case witness testimonies, video proof, and Karen's track record of terrorizing the town. This isn't just about one incident, Mom says, her voice steady. It's about a pattern of entitlement that targeted a young woman with a disability. The judge nods, scheduling the trial for next month. As we leave, reporters swarm, but Mom waves them off, whispering to us, "Let the evidence speak." Emily signs, Karen's scared. I grin. Good. She should be. Outside, the town's buzzing. Ex-posts are flooding in. One says, Karen's gonna need a bigger purse to hide in. Another, with a meme of Karen's face on a wanted poster, gets 20K shares. I post, thanks for the support. Trial's coming. Stay tuned. It's petty, but watching Karen's empire of arrogance crumble is sweeter than Dusty's pie. Her son, Officer Chad, hasn't shown his face, which makes me wonder if he's distancing himself already. Smart move, Chad. So, what's the pettiest thing a Karen's ever done to you? Drop your stories in the comments. I'm living for this tea. And tell me, are you reading this on your phone at a bus stop, your TV during a late night snack, or your laptop while working? It's 10 a.m. in Ohio, and I'm riding the high of Karen's courtroom fumble. The AD's got Emily's back, and with Mom wielding the law like a lightsaber, Karen's misunderstanding excuse is about to crash and burn. Stick around, because this legal battle's just warming up, and we're bringing the heat. When justice faces arrogance, who'll blink first? Spoiler, it's not us. I'm Alex Thompson, your 22-year-old guide to this Ohio small-town smackdown where Karen, the purse-swinging dictator of decorum, slapped my deaf sister, Emily, at Dusty's diner, thinking she could teach her manners. After Mom, Lisa Thompson, a retired military lawyer with a legal arsenal sharper than Karen's tongue, filed a lawsuit for assault and ADA violations, we've been building a case tighter than Karen's grip on her entitlement. Part 4 saw the courtroom heat up with diner footage and witnesses roasting Karen's excuses. Now, in Part 5, the trial's in full swing, and Karen's about to learn that her misunderstanding defense is flimsier than the diner's paper napkins. The courthouse is a circus, packed with locals who've ditched their daily grind for a front row seat to Karen's downfall. Grandma Ruth's knitting needles click like a metronome of doom. Old Joe's grinning like he's won the lottery. And Big Mike's brought a thermos of coffee, ready for a long day of justice. The judge, a woman whose stare could make a statue confess, bangs her gavel, and we're off. Mom's in her zone, her suit crisp and her notes organized like a battle plan. Emily's beside me signing. Karen looks nervous. I smirk. Good, she's about to be a lot more than nervous. Mom opens with a banger, laying out Karen's assault and ADA violations with the precision of a sniper. She plays the diner video again. Karen's slap in glorious HD, her "teach her manners" line echoing like a bad karaoke performance. The jury, a mix of farmers, teachers, and one guy who looks like he's mentally planning his next fishing trip, leans forward riveted. Karen's lawyer, A sweaty mess who's probably regretting law school. Objects claiming the video's prejudicial. The judge shuts him down with, "It's evidence, counselor. Sit." Old Joe snorts so loud the bailiff glares. Next, Mom calls witnesses. Grandma Ruth takes the stand, her voice sweet but lethal. Karen's been terrorizing this town for years. She says, listing offenses from yelling at kids to complaining about oogly mailboxes. Slapping a deaf girl. That's just Karen being Karen. The jury murmurs, and I catch a juror shaking her head. Old Joe's up next, turning his testimony into a stand-up routine. "She reported my dog for barking," he says, "but he's half dead and deaf as a post. Kinda like her common sense." The courtroom chuckles, and the judge bangs her gavel. Though I swear she's hiding a smile. Then it's my turn. I take the stand, heart pounding but ready. I describe the diner scene, Emily's shock, Karen's smugness, the way it felt like a punch to our family. "Emily's the strongest person I know," I say, glancing at her. "She didn't deserve this, and Karen knew she was deaf," I told her. The jury's eyes are locked on me, and I see a few nod. Mom's questions are sharp, drawing out how Karen's actions shook Emily's confidence. When Karen's lawyer cross-examines, he tries to trip me up, asking if I provoked Karen. I shoot back, "Unless eating a burger is provocation." "No." The gallery laughs and his face reddens. Now the main event, Karen on the stand. She's a vision of fake remorse, clutching a tissue like it's her lifeline. Her lawyer coaches her to play the victim and she sniffles. "I didn't know she was deaf. I just wanted to get her attention." Mom pounces. "So Ms. Johnson, you thought slapping a stranger was the best way to communicate?" Karen stammers. "It was a reflex." Mom doesn't miss a beat. "A reflex to what?" "Someone not bowing to your demands." The jury's eating it up, and Karen's mask slips. "That girl wouldn't listen," she snaps, pointing at Emily. Gasps ripple through the room. The judge's pen pauses, and even Karen's lawyer looks like he wants to vanish. Mom's not done. She presents Karen's rap sheet. Complaints about neighbors, bans from stores, that time she tried to outlaw the cat in the hat. "This isn't an isolated incident," Mom says. "It's a pattern of entitlement targeting the vulnerable." She ends with the ADA, explaining how it protects Emily from harassment. Karen's lawyer objects to everything, prompting the judge to quip, "Counselor, is there anything you don't object to?" The room erupts and Grandma Ruth's needles clink in triumph. Karen's sinking and she knows it. The prosecution rests, and Karen's team scrambles. Her lawyer calls a character witness, some guy from her book club who mumbles about her community spirit. Mom cross-examines, asking, "Was that the same spirit that got her banned from the hardware store?" The guy wilts, and the jury's not impressed. Closing arguments are next. Mom's speech is a masterpiece, painting Karen as a bully who thought she could slap her way to respect. "Emily deserves justice," she says, "and this town deserves better." Karen's lawyer rambles about good intentions. But it's like trying to sell spoiled milk. As the jury deliberates, the courtroom buzzes, posts are flooding in. One with 25K likes says, "Karen's learning the ADA isn't always demand attention." Another meme shows her face on a "How to Lose Friends" book cover. I post, "Trials wrapping. Thanks for the love. Justice for Emily." Emily signs, "Think we'll win." I nod. Karen's toast. Outside, reporters hover, but Mom's cool as ever, whispering, "Let the jury decide." The tension's thick, but I'm buzzing with that sweet revenge vibe. So, what's the worst courtroom fumble you've seen? Drop your stories in the comments. I need a laugh after this roller coaster. And tell me, are you reading this on your phone at a coffee shop, your TV during a break, or your laptop while working? It's 3 p.m. in Ohio, and I'm riding the high of Karen's courtroom meltdown. The ADA's got Emily's back, and with Mom wielding the law like a flamethrower, Karen's arrogance is about to crash harder than her misunderstanding excuse. Stick around, the verdict's coming, and it's gonna be juicier than Dusty's pie. Justice served, or just another day in court? Oh, it's way more than that. It's the day Karen, our town's self-crowned queen of complaints, gets her comeuppance for slapping my deaf sister Emily at Dusty's Diner. I'm Alex Thompson, your 22-year-old narrator in this Ohio small-town saga where Mom, Lisa Thompson, a retired military lawyer with a knack for turning entitlement into evidence, has just obliterated Karen's defense in trial. Part 5 had the courtroom buzzing with Mom's legal fireworks, witness roasts, and Karen's disastrous, "that girl wouldn't listen" outburst. Now, in Part 6, the jury's back, and Karen's about to find out that justice stings harder than her slap. The courthouse is a pressure cooker, the air thick with anticipation, and the faint scent of Old Joe's coffee. Grandma Ruth's knitting needles are on pause, Big Mike's thermos is empty, and the gallery's packed with locals who've bet their lunch money on Karen's downfall. Emily's next to me, signing, "Think they'll get it right." I nod, squeezing her hand. Mom didn't leave them a choice. Mom's calm, her face unreadable, but I know she's mentally high-fiving herself. Karen, across the room, looks like she's auditioning for, most likely to flee town. Her lawyer's sweating through his suit, probably drafting his resignation letter. The judge bangs her gavel and the jury files in. They're a stoic bunch. Farmers, teachers, that fishing guy who's now doodling a trout on his notepad. The foreman, a woman with a no-nonsense bun, hands over the verdict. My heart's doing cartwheels, but I keep it cool. The judge reads, "On the count of assault, we find the defendant, Karen Johnson, guilty." The room erupts. Cheers, gasps, and Old Joe's "hell yeah!" that earns a stern glance from the bailiff. Karen's face crumples like a used tissue, and her lawyer slumps defeated. Emily signs, "We did it." I grin, whispering, "Told you." Karen's toast. The judge isn't done. For violating the Americans with Disabilities Act and Ohio disability laws, she continues, "The defendant is ordered to pay 50 zalvern in damages to Emily Thompson. 50 grand. That's more than Karen's purse collection and her ego combined." The gallery buzzes, and Big Mike mutters, "Hope she's got a good coupon." But wait, there's more. Karen's sentenced to 100 hours of anger management classes, because apparently slapping deaf people is a temper issue. And the cherry on top, a restraining order barring her from contacting our family. If Karen so much as glares at us from across the street, she's toast again. The judge's gavel slams, and it's official. Karen's reign of terror is over. The courtroom's a party now. Grandma Ruth's hugging Mrs. Jenkins, Old Joe's offering to buy everyone coffee, and reporters are scrambling for quotes. X is on fire, with posts like, "Karen's wallet just filed for bankruptcy," racking up 30K likes. A meme of Karen's courtroom scowl captioned, "When you slap a deaf girl and meet her lawyer mom," goes viral. I post, "Verdict's in. Justice for Emily. Thanks for the support." It's petty, but watching Karen's empire of arrogance collapse is sweeter than Dusty's cherry pie. Karen's not going quietly. As she's escorted out grumbling about appeals and unfair treatment, Old Joe hollers, "Good luck, Karen! Maybe next time you'll learn some respect." The gallery laughs, and even the judge's lips twitch. Karen's lawyer tries to shush her, but she's muttering loud enough for half the room to hear. This town's full of rude people. Sure, Karen, we're the problem. I catch her son, Officer Chad, slipping out the back. No swagger today. He's probably dreading the family dinner where Mom's the main course. Outside, the town's celebrating like we just won the Super Bowl. Mrs. Lopez, our neighbor, hands out cookies, saying, "For the Thompsons, who slayed the dragon." Big Mike's planning a Karen-free diner night, with half-price burgers. The local paper's headline screams, "Justice for deaf woman. Local bully pays price." Mom waves off reporters, but I sneak in a quote, "Don't mess with my sister, or my mom." Emily's beaming, signing, "I feel free." That's worth more than the damages. Back home, we're debriefing over pizza. Mom's finally relaxed, sipping wine and joking. "I should send Karen a bill for my cardio. She kept my heart rate up. I laugh, adding, maybe she'll start a GoFundMe. Help Karen pay for her bad choices. Emily signs, think she'll learn. Mom shakes her head. People like Karen don't learn. They just move to a new town and complain about their grass. We crack up, and for the first time in weeks, it feels like we can breathe. The town's gratitude is overwhelming. Mrs. Jenkins sends Emily a library card with honorary hero stamped on it. Old Joe drops off a pie, saying, for standing up to that harpy. Even the hardware store guy, Dave, emails Mom a coupon with, thanks for nailing Karen, scrawled on it. It's not just about us. It's about every person Karen's bullied, every time she thought her tantrums were a personality. We didn't just win a case, we gave the town its spine back. So, here's my call to action. Ever seen a bully get their just desserts? Drop your stories in the comments. I'm living for this karma. And tell me, are you reading this on your phone during a coffee break, your TV after dinner, or your laptop while working? It's 7 p.m. in Ohio, and I'm basking in the glow of Karen's defeat. The ADA protected Emily, Mom's legal wizardry sealed the deal, and that restraining order's our new best friend. Karen's out of our lives, and with the town rallying behind us, this victory's sweeter than a double scoop of justice. Stay tuned for part 7, because there's a twist coming that'll make this revenge saga even juicier. Revenge is sweet, but sometimes it comes with a twist so juicy it deserves its own spotlight. I'm Alex Thompson, your 22-year-old narrator, wrapping up this Ohio small-town saga, where Karen, the purse-wielding empress of entitlement, slapped my deaf sister Emily at Dusty's Diner and got served a legal smackdown by my mom, Lisa Thompson, a retired military lawyer. Part 6 delivered the verdict: Karen guilty, a $50,000 in damages, anger management classes, and a restraining order to keep her out of our lives. The town's still buzzing, and we're basking in the glow of justice. But hold on to your coffee, because Part 7's got a curveball that makes this revenge tale even sweeter. It's been a week since the trial, and our little Ohio town feels like it's exhaled for the first time in years. The air's lighter, the diner's busier, and Karen's nowhere to be seen, probably hiding in her house, muttering about unfair judges, while her purse plots its escape. Emily's back to her library job, signing with a spring in her step, and Mom's resumed her hobby of terrifying telemarketers with legal jargon. Me, I'm just a college kid savoring the calm, though I'm still getting high fives from strangers at the gas station. You Thompsons are legends, says Dave from the hardware store, tossing me a free keychain. Legends, I'll take it. Our family's closer than ever, bonding over pizza nights and jokes about Karen's courtroom meltdown. Emily's sketched a cartoon of Karen in anger management, yelling at a chair for disrespecting her. I frame it, our new living room centerpiece. Mom, usually all business, even cracks a smile, saying, if Karen starts a university for arrogance, she's got tenure. I chime in, yeah, Karen, where petness is the major. We laugh, and it hits me, Karen didn't just lose. She gave us a win that's bigger than any courtroom. The town's gratitude keeps rolling in. Big Mike hosts Karen Free Diner Night, with burgers named the Thompson Takedown, and a mocktail called Justice Juice. Grandma Ruth knits Emily a scarf with Harrow stitched in, and old Joe drops off another pie, muttering, keep that harpy gone. Mrs. Jenkins, the librarian, gifts Emily a first edition To Kill a Mockingbird, whispering, for defeating our own Boo Radley. X is still lit, with 40K likes on a post captioned, Karen's now allergic to diners. I add one, thanks for the love. Emily's thriving, and Karen's not. The comments flood with clapping emojis and, you go Thompsons! But here's the twist, and it's a doozy. I'm at the diner, scarfing down a takedown burger, when Mrs. Lopez, our neighbor, slides into the booth with a grin like she's holding state secrets. You didn't hear this from me, she says, leaning in, but Karen's son, Officer Chad, was on your side. I nearly choke on my fries. Chad, the cop who's been Karen's personal cleanup crew for years, The guy who made her parking lot keying spree disappear. No way. I say, but Mrs. Lopez nods, is mortified by her. Fed your mom extra dirt to seal the case. I'm floored. Chad, with his aviators and swagger, secretly rooting for us. Turns out, he slipped Mom a file off the record, detailing Karen's unreported complaints, like the time she tried to sue a coffee shop for weak espresso. It wasn't enough to make the trial, but it tipped Mom's strategy, painting Karen as a serial bully. Why'd Chad do it? Embarrassment, Mrs. Lopez says. He's tired of being Karen's kid. Wants a promotion, not a family scandal. I laugh so hard I snort soda. Chad, the turncoat, throwing his mom under the bus for a shiny badge. That's poetic, I tell Mom, expecting her to be shocked, but she just smirks. I had a hunch, she says, sipping her coffee. He dropped that file at my office, no name, no note. I knew it was him. Of course she did. Mom's basically a legal Sherlock. Emily signs, think he'll apologize. I scoff. Chad, he'll probably send us a fruit basket labeled, "Sorry, my mom's a nightmare." Mom shrugs. Doesn't matter. His evidence helped, and Karen's done. Don't, indeed. Rumor has it she's eyeing a move to Florida, where she can terrorize alligators instead. This twist adds a layer of delicious irony to our victory. Karen thought her cop son was her get out of jail free card, but Chad flipped the script, choosing his career over her chaos. It's not just a win for us, it's a middle finger to every enabler who let Karen run rampant. The town's gossip mill is churning. Ex-posts speculate Chad's gunning for sheriff, with captions like "Officer Chad hero or traitor." I don't care. He helped us bury Karen, and that's enough. Life's good now. Emily's planning a sign language workshop at the library. Mom's mentoring a young lawyer, and I'm acing my college classes, fueled by the thrill of our triumph. Karen's a ghost, her restraining order ensuring she stays far away. If she tries anything, Mom's got the law on speed dial. The town feels like ours again, free from Karen's shadow. Every thanks, Thompsons, from a neighbor is a reminder we didn't just fight for Emily, we fought for everyone she bullied. So, my final call to action ever dealt with a Karen who got what was coming. Share your stories below. I'm craving more karma. What's the most ridiculous demand you've seen from an entitled jerk? And tell me, are you reading this on your phone at a bar, your TV during a lazy Sunday, or your laptop while studying? It's 9 p.m. in Ohio and I'm toasting to a Karen-free future. The Adia-backed Emily Mom's legal genius crushed it, and Chad's sneaky assist was the cherry on top. This revenge saga's done, but the Thompson legacy, that's just getting started.